So, shall we talk poppies? Now, for many of you who don't know, I grew up in the Bahamas, and we don't exactly have poppies growing wild or even cultivated, to my knowledge. However, my first introduction to poppies was as a little girl in school. So the Bahamas was a British territory for many years, like a lot of places, and we tended to hold on to a lot of traditions, even if they didn't make sense to us, like powdered wigs, and also wearing red poppies every year. So every year our schools would get a box of paper single red poppies that they sold for 50 cents, and you got to wear it on your uniform shirts. And it was, I was told, in memoriam of soldiers that fought in the war. However, I don't believe any Bahamians really fought in the war. I could be wrong, but I don't think we were ever in any wars. But every year we wore red poppies on our uniform, even though I've never seen a red poppy or a single poppy grown in the Bahamas. Now, can they have it now? Sure, maybe. I don't live there right now. But that was my first introduction to poppies. And I didn't know that there were actually so many variety of poppies either until I started gardening a few years ago. And this year I decided that I would take a chance and order some poppies, some fancy poppies, because red is not my favorite color in the garden, even though there's a lot of it this year. A lot I didn't plant. But I decided to give it a try. So I'll show you the seeds I ordered versus what I actually got. So these are the seed packets. And yes, there's some red in there, but they are so different from the single red poppy that I know. And now we'll go and take a look at what actually grew. So the first one we're gonna look at is called Black Peony. And she's in a pot because these were all leftover seedlings that I didn't know where to put. I had put poppies everywhere around the garden already, even though majority didn't survive. But this one did, and I was very, very happy to see her open because she is so beautiful. And she almost didn't make it. She would have been one that sat in the pot and died. But I decided to stick her in this pot, and I'm glad I did. So that's Black Peony, and that's what the picture looked like. So I was expecting her to be much darker than that, but I think she's very, very pretty nonetheless. Moving on. So over here we have some chicks and hen. Very, very pretty, very big. And that's the heads. I'm hoping I can get some seeds, but that's the picture, and that's the flower. I think it looks like the picture. What do you think? I don't know. So chicks and hen, and I got a few of her to actually grow, and I have a couple popped over other places, but she was the most successful one. So I have 3 chicks and hens. And then if we look here, I have Amazing Gray. I don't see a whole lot of gray. She doesn't look exactly like the picture, I was sold on the picture, so I wanted to give her a try, but I don't think that looks like what is on the picture. I still like her. She's very pretty and dainty. She's quite small, smaller than the other ones, like the head, like, you know, there's no big bread seed poppy like balls or seed pods, if you must. And over here we have black swan. Now I told you I do not prefer red, but I wanted to give her a try because she looked so pretty. Look how gorgeous. And she does look like the picture, like spot on, would you say? Now over in this bed is what we have left of all the single red peonies. Poppies. Why do I keep saying poppy? Because some of the poppies are peony like, I guess. But I did not order any single red poppies, but I happened to get a lot. There was a lot of these all around the yard, and I appreciate the single reds because they were the first things to kind of pop off in the garden. They're fading now, but it is not exactly what I ordered. Doesn't look like Swan's Dawn, does it? No. How about Flemish Antique? Does not look like a Flemish Antique. I did not get her either. How about a cream peony? See, this is why I keep saying peony instead of poppy, because some of the names have peony in it. It looked like a peony, which I was excited about, but I got a lot of single red poppies. No crimson feather either. I didn't get any of those. And one that I really wanted to see, lilac pom-pom. It's supposed to be a light pink, but I did not get her either. However, I did get a lot of single red poppies, and she will do for now because it does give my garden a little bit of color, but not exactly what I ordered. So of the 4 that I did get a poppy from, I cannot decide if the red is actually my favorite because it's just so different and so vibrant, or the black peony. But right now these two in my top favorite. I am very sad not to get this one and this one. I mean, I could go without the crimson feather and the swans because they're similar but just different color. Did like, however, to have gotten a cream peony, but those are what I ordered, and I got 4, which I'm still grateful for. Next year I'll try again, and I will probably start most of them in seed trays in the spring because I did sprinkle a lot of seeds all around the garden and I got nothing from that. And the ones that did grow was the ones that I put into seed trays. So yeah, that's my take on poppies. They're so beautiful, even the single red ones.